Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I thought I'd share with you a couple of my latest makes and something that I've got planned. So I recently got started on some fabric that I was gifted by my husband for Christmas along with my Christmas presents, and he just bought me a metre of this William Morris fabric. So it's really nice, it's 100% cotton, and I've had it just folded up and ready to go for a number of months now, but wasn't quite sure what to make with it. And then the other day I decided I was going to make a dress for the summer, and I've made this dress unlined. I'm going to insert some footage of me wearing it so that you can see it clearly. And it's just a simple shift dress shape with darts and shaping, and it's unlined. So I decided to make it unlined because I thought it's for the summer months. It's a dark enough pattern and colour that you can't see straight through it. And of course, sometimes when you have a lining under things, it can make it a little sort of sticky when you get hot. So that's why I've left it unlined. I'll show you which pattern I've used. So I've used this pattern a couple of times now, and I really do like it. So I made one for work, I made one for me, and now I've made another one. So the version that I made last time was this one with the short cap sleeves, and I made that one in another cotton, blue with a few shades of blue flowers all over it. That one was really nice. And I made this version, this length, with those sleeves. And then this time I cut it all out. As I said, I'd only got a metre of fabric, and it was right up to the edges. There wasn't enough to make the sleeves unless I had the print going in the wrong direction, and that would have just looked silly. And I would have had to add a little join in the middle of the sleeve too, which is fine as long as the print was the right way, which it wouldn't have been. So I've just left the sleeve off and decided to bind with some bias binding around the sleeves, and then also to make sure that I could keep the level to the knee, which was just where I wanted it, I've added in bias binding on the inside as well, so that I didn't need to lose any from the hem. So I'll show you now what it looks like. So this is one of my latest makes. This is my William Morris dress that I made out of fabric that my husband bought me for Christmas. Just got round to using it because I wasn't sure what to make with it. So I've made this dress, so it's a shift dress, boat neck. I've added additional darts at the front because the pattern didn't have them at the front, it did have them at the back. It had these ones, didn't have them here. And I've also added some additional ones here to stop it gaping at the back armhole. It's got a zip up the centre back. And it comes to just my knee. So I'm really happy with this, how this turned out. I didn't line this one. I was going to line it, but as it's for the summer, I thought I'd leave it as it is because it's 100% cotton. And I know I'll be making this one again, so it's a really good pattern. So it's New Look 6095, and there's also the pattern for this tote bag in there as well. I think I'm going to have a go at that actually, because I've got that many different scraps and things left over. I might as well make one of those, hadn't I? Quite useful for when you go to the shops, just want a few things, or go to the library. So yeah, I'll be trying that out. I'll let you know how I get on with that one. And then another thing that I've made this week that I really enjoyed making was a jumpsuit for work. I made it to fit me so that I could show it on the sew along. So if you follow me, or if you see me over on Minerva doing the sew alongs, you'll know that I do quite a few for those. And it's this one. I made it in a red chambre. So when I had this one all made up, I liked it on. It was a nice fit, and I just like the style of it. I did need to take in the size just a little on the side that I made for me, which was a 10 in this one. And the strap fit, but the only thing that I found is, probably because I'm small, just here, there was just a little bit of looseness. So if I make it again, which I intend to, I'm going to just have to put a very small sort of bust dart just there, and then just adjust the length of the binding at this armhole point ever so slightly. So that was the only thing. Other than that, a really lovely fit. And as you can see, you can make the dress and the playsuit version. Yeah, really nice. So I decided I was going to make one of these for myself while I've got the pattern pieces all out and it's all fresh in my mind. So I've been out and bought some fabric. So I went to my local fabric shop to get this, and it's Happy Hare in Sheffield, and she does stock loads and loads of gorgeous cottons for crafting, quilting, all that kind of thing. You can make clothes from them, but anything that requires any drape, you can't use a craft cotton for that. And she does also stock quite a few cotton lawn, William Morris, and a few different designs. I've got about 3 already from her that I've bought before. So I went in and I had a look at those, and I chose this one. So this is the one that I've gone for. I know I've got lots of things with flowers on. This has got flowers on today, what I'm wearing. But I just love that pop of red in that, and if you look, it's got quite a few different colours. I mean, my husband said, oh, you go for quite a lot of dark ones. I don't think I do. That's got that bright teal colour, the red, there's a bit of yellow in there. Yes, it's on a dark background, but I still think it's quite bright. So I'm going to make that again in this one. Now, I did think when I got home, is this wide enough? Because looking at it, I didn't think it looked as wide as the piece that I'd made the previous one in. But let's have a look. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it probably is. I might have to make a few little adjustments, but if I have to do that, that's fine. The leg is quite wide on that jumpsuit, so if I just have to taper it just a little bit, that'll be fine. So that's what I plan on doing next. I'm going to make that, and I'll have another jumpsuit. Because I often make these things for work and so on, and then think, oh, I'd like to make that at some point, but then never go and actually buy a piece of fabric big enough to make the thing, and end up just making lots of little things, using up all the scraps that I've got. So I thought, no, I'm going to buy some for me this time, which is just purely for that, with that project in mind. So that's what I've done. I've washed it, I bought it yesterday, I've washed it, it went straight on the line, so it's all clean and ready to go. I've got a friend coming shortly. I'm going to do an alteration for her son on a suit that he's bought, but once they've been, I'm going to get cracking on that, because my husband's just gone out on the back. And I didn't fancy going right now because it looks like it might rain as well. And like I said, I've got people coming anyway, so I couldn't. But that's what's planned next. Now, as I was saying about having bits left over, I have got quite a few bits left over from this one that I worked on the other day. Now, the thing is, they're all quite narrow. So let me show you. Because it's from up the sides, which it generally is when I have bits left from work projects. Look. They're like this, but that's on the double, and it goes on and on. So there's quite a bit of it, but narrow pieces. So in the past, I know that I've made a really nice blouse that I wear quite often. I'll find the pattern out in a moment, but it requires lots of narrow panels. So I know it's patterned, so I won't be trying to match them all up, because that would be virtually impossible when you've got lots of panels going on. But yeah, it's a little blouse with panels in and a tie front. I've worn it quite a few times, so I know it's one that I will wear. But with there being so much of this left in these kind of shapes, it will be the perfect one to use up on that particular blouse. So I'll find the pattern out so that I can show it you. I think the only difference being was when I made that one, everything is doubled. So it's the same on the inside as it is on the outside. I think that's a bit unnecessary, especially for the summer. So I think what I'll do is just do it a single layer the whole way around, apart from the front where the collar is, obviously, and the tie, because that has to be double. So that's what I think I'll do with that. And I just thought they were just really fun colours together, this orange and blue. So I want to make sure that I use that up on something to wear, and that it doesn't just go to waste. So I think that's really pretty. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. I'll show you the pattern that I'm thinking of. The only other thing is maybe I might need to change the sleeve a little bit to accommodate all these random bits that I've got. Yes, so I found the pattern. This is the one that I'm thinking of. Now the view that I did was this one here, D. So it comes a bit lower than this one. It's got these short sleeves, and it's got this tie neckline. Now I know I wear it, so it's always good to make things again that you know you'll wear, because some things we make them I know and they only get worn occasionally. So that's the plan. The only thing I might change is the front. This one has got buttons and loops, and the only thing that I don't like about that blouse is that with it fastening with a loop, unless you do the button really far over, there's a possibility of it gaping at the front. So I might just do a traditional button and buttonhole down the front. I'll have to allow a little extra, I think, on the fronts here just to allow for that overlap. So I think that might be one thing that I change about it. But yeah, that's the plan for that fabric. So I'm going to keep that with the fabric so I don't forget. So I hope you're enjoying whatever you're up to this week. I hope you're having fun sewing and making. I'll just pop in what I'm wearing today before I go, because I often forget that, and it is this one. So this is the jumpsuit that I'm wearing today. This is in a cotton poplin, Rose and Hubble this one is called, and I made this view right here, so it's this length in the leg. I'll stand up so that you can see. Look, I even pinned it to it to remind me which one it was. There's different views you can make on this one too, very similar to the one I'm going to be making, but a slightly different top, a higher top with a narrower band and a slightly different belt, because the belt on that one goes wide at the back and is attached to the jumpsuit, whereas this one you made the belt separate. Well, that's all from me for today, and I'll be back soon to share what I've been up to and these latest makes that I've just been telling you about. Thank you so much for watching today. Bye for now.